All right, so in this video, we're going to be factoring polynomials, more specifically quadratic trinomials of the form x squared plus bx minus c, okay? Notice the c is negative here. In the previous video, c was positive. So this sign being negative just changes what the signs are going to be inside the parentheses, okay? Again, we're using the guess and check method, all right? In my opinion, that's the best way to kind of learn how to eventually factor trinomials by side, is to do guess and check and get comfortable with how these numbers and variables kind of play off of each other, okay? So again, if you need to, go back and look through the previous notes, watch that video for how the process works, okay? So we're gonna factor this quadratic trinomial, x squared plus 2x, again, minus 35. Okay, that negative 35 means our signs are going to be different. So let's kind of break that down. Again, we want to set up our parentheses. Notice I've gone ahead and set up the signs here, one positive, one negative, okay? To get negative 35, you've got to multiply a positive number times a negative number. That's the only way you can get a negative product, okay, if we're dealing with two numbers. One side's got to be positive, one side's got to be negative. And we're going to need to test all the different factors that lead to a product of negative 35. So we want to list all of those out, okay? Then we're going to plug them in, and then we're going to check our work to see which one actually works out, okay? So first term is going to be x squared. So that means an x is going to go into the first location in our parentheses. So let's go ahead and put those in there. So remember, we've got 6 spots to fill, 3 in each set of parentheses, all right? So when x squared is my first term, it's very easy. The first term in each binomial is going to be x squared. Again, when c is negative, my signs here have to be different, okay? So now I'm just going to plug in the factors until I get what I need to multiply out to get the question that I started with. All right, so my factors of negative 35. First off, positive 1 and negative 35, or we can reverse that, negative 1 and positive 35, okay? There's only 2 other factors, positive 5 and negative 7, or negative 5 and positive 7. All right, so I want to plug these in, and then I'm going to check my work that leads to get what I started with here, x squared plus 2x minus 35. All right, so I'm just going to start from the beginning and move across. So x plus 1, x minus 35. Well, when I multiply these two binomials, I actually get a negative 34x as my middle term, which doesn't match, okay? So that's not going to work. Let's move on down the list here. X plus 5 and x minus 7. Well, that gives me a negative 2x in the middle. Well, I don't need a negative 2x. I need a positive 2x. So that doesn't work. I'm just going to keep going down the list here. X plus 35 and x minus 1. Well, that's going to give me the opposite of this, x squared plus 34, x minus 35, which doesn't work. So hopefully it's this one, okay? If not, that means this trinomial can't be factored. But this one can, okay? When I multiply out those binomials, I get the quadratic trinomial I started with, okay? So that means my answer is going to be x plus 7 times x minus 5, okay? Pause the video here, give number 2 a try, and then come back and check it out. All right, so again, c is negative. Leading coefficient is positive 1. All right, so we're going to set up our parentheses. I know just as soon as I see c is negative, my signs here have to be opposites, okay? Signs have to be opposites. So now we're just going to test all the factors of negative 40, okay? And we're going to check our work. All right, so again, leading coefficient is 1. So inside parentheses, I've got a positive x as my first term for each binomial. So again, I've already got 4 parts of the 6 that I need, and let's test all the factors of negative 40. So there's a lot of those, okay? This should say negative 40, not negative 35. Okay, so I've got 1 and negative 40, and then we can reverse those signs. Okay, I've got 2 and 20, 2 and negative 20. Reverse those signs, okay? I've got 4 and negative 10, or negative 4 and positive 10. And then finally, I've got 5 and negative 8, or negative 5 and positive 8. Okay, so that's all the different factors of negative 40. Okay, So let's plug them in until we get the right one. Okay, again, it's guess and check. Later on, we'll use the process, but for now, guess and check. So I'm going to start at the beginning and just move down the list. Hopefully we'll find one earlier rather than later, okay? So when I multiply these two binomials out, I get x squared minus 39x minus 40. That doesn't work. Let's go to the next one, x plus 2x minus 20. Okay, well that one doesn't work. We're getting closer though. We went from negative 39x to negative 18x. So I'm moving in the right direction here. Again, that one doesn't work. Let's move on to 4 and negative 10. Okay, well when I multiply those out, I get what I want to get, okay? I get a negative 6x in the middle, that matches up. So that's going to be my answer, okay? So when I factor x squared minus 6x minus 40, I get x plus 4 times x minus 10, okay? So again, this video is specifically for a coefficient here of x squared for 1 and a c value that's negative.